That's the cam. And this is the cam. I had already pulled it off and forgot that. Alright, so this is the all pump chain and this would be the camshaft chain. So to remove that, what we'll do is we'll get a 10mm and we'll come here to the sprocket. That's not good. Alright guys, I thought we was having major issues, but I think the sprocket just came off of the shaft and the shaft was just turning freely instead of loosening. So I was able to get the sprocket back on the shaft. So let's hold the sprocket on. It keeps jumping off. Might have to hold it with a pair of pliers. Let's try to just take this chain out of our way. Let's try to hold it there. Alright. Guys, I got scared. I thought this thing actually stripped all the way through. That's why I was afraid of. But that's not what happened. Alright, so that's the old sprocket and the old chain. And this is the old cam shaft chain. Alright, that's the old cam chain and the old all pump chain. So a side-by-side comparison. This is the new chain and this is the old chain. And so if we go down to the bottom, you see that old chain is a little longer than that new chain. So we should be good there. And I'm sure the same thing will be for the all pump chain. So the first chain we're gonna want to put on is the cam chain. And for that, we grab the chain and we just sit it back up in here. And we can fish it through, that'll be nice. Just so it's not in our way. And just pull this chain guide out just a little bit and we should be able to slide it behind the sprocket. So we got it out, put it on the sprocket. And now that we're on the sprocket, we should be fine there for the cam chain. And then let's go to the oil pump. So I got a new sprocket, so we're gonna use our new sprocket. It looks like we didn't need a new one, but we'll use it. And this is our new chain. So we go ahead and open that up. And we'll do a comparison of the new chain and the old chain. That's the old chain. This is the new chain. And as you can see, the new chain looks to be a little shorter than the old one. Just a hair shorter, not a lot shorter. All right, so we'll go ahead and install that. And to install that, we're gonna go ahead and grab the sprocket, the new sprocket. And I'm gonna go ahead and clean this bolt up with a little bit of brake cleaner, and I'm gonna spray a little bit of brake cleaner in here. And the reason being is because I'm gonna put a little bit of thread tighten or thread lock, or whatever you want to call it, Loctite, so that bolt doesn't back out. I got some blue thread lock Then we're gonna put just a dab on the bolt. Then we'll put the sprocket on the new chain. And then we'll put the new chain on. And this thing here doesn't have a tensioner, so the chain has to be a little, see if we can turn that just a little bit. All right, we got it on. And as you can see how tight that chain is now. So that's what we needed. And if you remember, that chain was sitting on the side of this sprocket here, on the side of the case here. We still got our thread lock on it. We'll thread that in. We'll hit it with the impact. Alright, it ain't going nowhere. And that chain is now tight, so we shouldn't have any noise off that all pump chain. And next we'll go back up top and focus back on the camshaft. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to pull that inspection reporter one more time, and this is the most important time to pull it when you get ready to put your camshaft back on. So this camshaft has this little notch right here. I don't know if you can see that if the camera picks it up, but this notch here needs to line up parallel with this case. So that notch needs to sit in this case just like that, and be parallel with the top of this case. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the timing chain on top. We're gonna slide it through the camshaft, and then once we get it to where we want it, and make sure that you're on the sprocket below. So this is actually a little tricky. You just have to keep playing with it and moving it and adjusting it so that once you sit it down, it will align. All right, and as you can see, the notch is here. It looks like we need to go one more notch, one more tooth. Guys, I think that's it right now. So we should be timed perfect, just like that. And all we'll do is put the bolts back in the top of the cam, and that's all right. Guys, we look like we should be fine there, and once we put the tensioner on this side, it should kick it over just enough to be parallel. So I think that's perfect. So we'll go ahead and put these bolts in. And we'll tighten that down with the gun. Alright guys, so the camshaft is back on, the new cam chain is on, and I can already tell that it's a whole lot tighter than the other one was. Alright, so the next thing we'll do is we'll put the valve body back on after I clean it up. So let me go ahead and clean that up, and we'll clean that up and scrape it just like we did with the head. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, so when you're doing yours, make sure you put the guide back on first before you put the cam shaft back in. So you want to get this guide, slide it up back in there, and Make sure you got your washer on the back. Tighten it up. Make sure you got your washer and the slide. And this guide is what that tensioner is going to use for tension. Alright, after you put the actual guide back in, make sure you put the guide in first. Now we can go back to adjusting the camshaft to line it up timing wise. I think that's it, guys. Yep, that's it. Alright, so we can go ahead and throw the bolts back in it. And we go ahead and tighten them back down. Alright, now that we got the camshaft chain in, both guides are in, what we can do now is install the tensioner that goes there. I'm gonna dab a little bit of silicone, just like we did with everything else, on both sides, and then I'll put a gasket on it. And guys, my new timing chain, it came with a tensioner, but I'm gonna use the stock tensioner that already came on it stock. I think it's fine. All right, guys, so we'll use the new one. So what you want to do is, I let it release, so you want to turn it and push it in at the same time. And it should slide in. Alright, now that we have it, I'll put it in here. Let me grab my bolts first. Bottom one is kind of hard to get to. Now that I got it on there, I can use my gun, make it go a little faster. And just snug the top one up, and we good. And to activate the tensioner, we'll remove this tab. And as you guys, I don't know if you guys saw it, but you saw this timing chain snug up a little bit, and that was the auto adjust on this auto tensioner pushing against this guide that we had the bolt in. It pushed against this guide to tighten up that chain, and all we do now is put the bolt in the back, and the bolt is provided for us. All right, guys, so that's that. I'm running out of daylight, so I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to put the valve cover, the valve's body back on top tonight. But for you guys, it'll just be the next clip. For me, it might be the next day.